Sure.
Hey, thank you so much for coming back and watching our next video. Hal is with Goosehead Insurance. He is a broker for the insurance business. And the last video that we did was with regard to covering uh, areas that are no longer covered, like California. And he had a second part of that he wanted to talk about. So Hal, why don't you bring up what that was?
Sure. Thanks, Celeste. So one of the things that people often hear about is whether it's wildfires or whether it's hurricanes. There are certain provisions of insurance that are excluded or have to. In other words, your basic homeowner's policy doesn't cover it, but you can buy it back. So here in Illinois, for instance, we don't have those exclusions. So in the Midwest, wildfires aren't a really big concern. So therefore, they are not carved out and specifically excluded. In California, they are. So if you live in the Midwest and you're buying a home, wildfires are covered. Even if you're covered by State Farm, they are covered. But in places like California or Arizona, earthquakes, wildfires, those items are excluded. And there are still insurance companies that offer the ability to buy that coverage back.
And in keeping that mind thought or that mindset is also getting the idea across that when you buy homeowners insurance, you really need to go through the items that are in the coverage that you're getting. And perhaps you want to add additional items for an additional premium, because at the time when you're buying your homeowners insurance, there are things that you should be considering as an add-on, just so you know you have that coverage when the time comes. And I'll use the example of having a basement and having coverage. They call that, what is that, backup
Backup of
coverage?
sewers and drains. And
Yes.
that's kind of a unique to the Midwest, right? Like if you go down to Texas or you go down to Florida, a lot of those places don't have basements. It's
Hmm.
kind of a unique thing that's done in the Midwest. It was done, I think, originally to help people with tornadoes and having a place to stay or storage for, agriculture. So it's not everywhere across the country. Depending on water levels, sometimes they don't have them, but in the Midwest, we frequently do.
And I would say this also, Hal, wouldn't it be good for someone to work with someone like yourself that you can ask those questions? Like, do you have this? Do you have that? Have you thought of getting this kind of coverage? Just even asking the question sometimes can make an impact on what is going to happen in the future.
Sure.
And
In our industry, the true professionals ask all those questions, right? Our job is to make sure that if something were to go bad, that we can be their best friend on their worst day. So if we have those coverages on the front end, address all the potential risks. Do you have a basement? Do you have a pool? Do you live near a body of water? All the problems that could potentially come up, we can offer the coverage. And of course, still the customer can decline and say they don't want it, but it's our job to have that conversation and make them aware of the prospects. And then insurance is just like anything else. What level of risk are you as a homeowner willing to self-insure versus asking someone else to take care of it for you?
I really hope that people get from this experience that Hal is somebody that you would want to have in your court, if you want to call it that.
Thank you.
And also to have an advocate in your realtor, that they're educating you on connecting you with someone like Hal, because not everybody is the same. All people in all industries, I promise you, they're not all the same. And you're not looking for the cheapest solution when it comes to your homeowner's insurance. You want the most thorough coverage if that's what you're looking for.
Sure. Sure. We can be as comprehensive and then find it as economically as we can. So that's our goal, and that's why we work with multiple. The broker approach allows us to work with multiple companies and shop that around and find the best solution at the best price.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Hal. And again, to our public, please stay tuned. We have some more videos coming up.